One day we're going to have an honest conversation about how many people actually really hate dark-skinned people, how they treat dark-skinned people worse. And how a lot of y'all are unconsciously very colorist. It's to the point where even the light-skinned girlies are clocking it. I've seen several light-skinned creators say y'all treat darker skinned people weird the second they do anything, sidestep anything. Like it's a harsher and more punitive treatment. Speaking of, like, y'all, when it comes to darker skinned people, are way more critical, way more harsh. They way more punitive. There's way more disposability intertwined when you're engaging with people with darker skin. And I don't think it's conscious at all times. Like, I'm not saying like you wake up with the thought in your mind of like, I hate darker skinned people, but your actions and behaviors, if it don't apply, let it slide. But your actions and behaviors, they're kind of lining up with that. I believe it to be unconscious, and if you don't know what unconscious bias is, pardon me, I love a visual. There's affinity bias, feeling more connected to people who are the same as us, and that is like, for example, like feeling like people with light. If you have lighter skin, you feel more connected to people with lighter skin, if that makes sense. And then there's perception bias. You see a darker skinned person, you go off of the stereotype that darker skin means that you're more masculine or aggressive or like volatile or violent. That's a thing. And then I'm gonna skip over because that is paired with this confirmation bias where you're looking at a person. The second you say push, for example, push a darker skinned person, where you're poking them and prodding them and disrespecting them, being more punitive with them, and they finally like clap back or they fold under the energy of like constant scrutiny, then you are confirmed in thinking like, oh, this person is more volatile, or this person is this. I always knew so and so was weird. That's your favorite one. I peeped that. And then the halo effect, which is projecting more positive attributes onto like lighter skinned people. I see how y'all engage with lighter skinned people versus people who are darker. I peeps. And it's unconscious. It's not even something that you're aware of. I think the only way to challenge unconscious bias is to call it out. And I'm seeing a lot of it. I experience a lot of it. And it's fucking exhausting. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of y'all, if it applies, it applies. If it don't, it don't. Are way more color.
I live in South Africa. The colorism is the worst.
Excuse the lip. Colorism is why y'all think Tammy Rivera's mom is unattractive but think she is beautiful, which she is. But yet they have the same face, just different complexions. Colorism is Ella May and her mom looking exactly the same. But because her mom is darker, every time I see that meme of her and her mama in a blue dress, y'all say that her mom is unattractive, but she is beautiful even though they have the same face.
Why would you have a child with a white man?
If it's not colorism, what is it?
Why would you have a child with a white man?
Answer me quickly, because I genuinely want to know if these people have the same exact face. How is the darker one always ugly to y'all? Let me know.
Let me start with a young lady. I'm seriously not going into 2025 with this behavior. You cannot be a victim if you're a willing positive player in the system. You went ahead and fell in love with a white man. Okay? You know exactly how they're going to see you. Okay? You know exactly. This is what she knows. Okay? You know how they're going to put you in your position. So people with white partners, I don't really care much. Okay? You knew what you were doing. Like, my energy is like, for one, if you are in a interracial relationship, I'm writing you off. I'm done with you. Even I would write myself off. I'm done with you, basically, because I don't see white men in the way you would. I believe that white men, they're like black men. They haven't worked on their internalized racism, so they're gonna project it. So in the media, they push this interracial thing. I don't want to be a part of it. So I'm gonna put that aside. I don't want to deal with it. I feel like it's a separate conversation that needs its own dialogue and its own conversation, which I don't really care about. You just knew. You knew what you were gonna get, you know? So let's push it aside. Let's deal with things that actually affect black people with actual black people in partnership, in relationship, friendships, and stuff like that. I want to talk about things that concern black people. Like, this is me conserving my energy. If you want to do that, cool, you can fight for that, right? But don't project it on me to do that. I don't want. I do not want. If you want to do that, that's cool, you can do that. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay? Thank you. Now let's move on to black people being colorist, and black people, especially the darker ones, enabling this behavior. I live in South Africa. My God, this country has the worst of the worst. I'm telling you. Not only are we apartheid apologists, we are simps as well for white people. I promise you, we are simp. I don't know if maybe it's the conditioning of the past, but I promise you, the same people who are technically bullies in South Africa but not bully white people. They cower and hide. There are things I don't want to go with in 2025. Especially, like, people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They are aware of their behavior. They are aware of what's happening around them. They are aware of a lot of things that we do not give them credit for, that they actually know. People know, but they do it because it makes them feel good. It gets to distract them from who they are. They do that because their life is just quite sad pathetically. And then they want to lynch on the weakest. If you're weak, that is why you shouldn't have kids if you are not self-aware. If you're not self-aware, don't have kids. Because people are going to come for you. People are going to literally just make a mockery of your life. So if you have kids, forget about it. Forget about it. I'm just telling you right now. It's really quite sad to think about, actually. It's sad. Sad, really. So let me know what you think about the entire conversation. But this is one of the conversation I don't want to have because people are aware. They know what they're doing. Right?